President Weah personally and his leadership? How do you see him?
Well, let me be frank with you. Sometimes people say, "Oh, President Weah, I follow him. He worshiped with me. I invited him to my church, and I didn't have to see anybody. I didn't have to pay any money. I didn't have to navigate my way through. I just wrote a simple letter, and that letter was conveyed to him. He didn't ask, who is this man? Nobody called me. Nobody asked me. I just received a word from the protocol that the president is coming to your church. He received an invitation, and it shocked me. He drove to my church. He sat down in service. I allowed him to bring the word. And after he spoke, the whole world wanted to crucify me. But if they had come to church and listened to that personal wisdom that he gave that day, it was a great blessing. People think a king should not be a priest. Now go to the Bible. There were kings who were priests. And this man has a fear of God. That one. Number two, how do I say him personally? I didn't know him then. I've been following him, watching him. But after a few interactions, I was following what he was doing. Personally, I'm under obligation to pray for him. I just want you to know that. And everybody listening to me, I want you, whether you like that or not, the Bible says, Romans chapter 13, respect. 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 2. Pray for the leader, those in authority, that we may live a quiet and a peaceful life. So to pray against the president is contrary to my Christian calling. To pray against the president is unethical for any pastor. You don't have to be your leader. You don't have to like him or her. But once that person is declared president of the nation, every religious organization is under obligation by the book to pray for that leadership so that they can live peaceably. And that's my obligation, to pray for him. How do I see him personally? I see someone who has fear of God, who has the love for God. Someone who wants to see things, just talk to him. He may not be, sometimes you can't judge kings. Kings are kings all over the world. Even kings in the Bible. They are kings not only for the righteous, they are kings for the unrighteous. President Weah is not only president for the church, he's president for the Muslim, he's president for the atheists, he's president for the traditional religion, he's president for even non-Christians, he's the president of the Republic of Liberia. Number two, the president of the Republic of Liberia, sir, takes an oath to uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia, not the Bible. And the Constitution of Liberia says we are a secular state. And under secularism, there can be no religious dominance. So for a president to hold that constitution, and in spite of that constitution, still make public the deity to which he pledged his allegiance, to even publicly build a church, to attend, man, give him a credit. Give him, no matter, he can even be the devil, give him his credit. So even in spite of the constitution limiting him to supporting secularism, he still says, I'm your president, other people, but know that I am a Christian. Know this is what I believe. And know this is the object to which I pledge my loyalty. Who else can do that? I think he's done well. Other religion would have said, no, the secular can't do that. Now, he's not depriving them. He's not preaching prejudice. He allowed them, quite recently, he allowed all the Muslims on the day of Ramadan to not go to work. They were still paid for it. All those that are Muslim working government officers were given excuse to go, yet they will receive their pay. That they were not counted against them because of breaking law. But he was careful to not give holiday because there is no Christian holiday. So while they are requesting holiday, he gave that free day for them to celebrate because there is no Christian holiday. If he had given a holiday, it would be a breach of the Constitution because we have no Christian holiday. But in his wisdom, being president for all religion, he allowed them to have their day. What a wisdom. I think it's a wisdom. So those are the simple things he's doing that is catching me and many people don't know. Look at the church in Johnson Street, on Johnsonville. That road construction could have thrown that church down. He had eminent domain to take that church from that road, eminent domain to relocate the church. But for a man who is the president, the king, to not use eminent domain to let the engineer to bypass engineering protocol and twist a road beyond the normal to save God's house. What more can we say about that man? What more can we say about a man who upholds Constitution that says secular? Yet he leans so much on Christianity. What more can you say about this man who respects the church? What more can we say about this man? I took part in the consecration of the mansion. I took part in the consecration of the restaurant. The man who wants to see. So if we fail him, I think if he fails, the church has failed. Because he has given us a corridor. He has opened his arm to us. He takes counsel from us. And I believe it's important that the church don't abuse this opportunity, that we don't misuse the opportunity, that we seize it as a privilege and begin to work. But also be mindful that when he makes mistakes, correct it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. When you talk about the church,
Yeah.
that is between the Johnsonville Turning Point Police Station
Yeah.
to Dwara Market and intersection
Exactly.
between Lee Hill.
Yeah.
Going
Okay,
to
you know the place.
yeah, going to no.
Okay.
If you are a navigator
Yeah.
and you on the road 24 hours try to feed on information to promote whatsoever you want to promote, you discover that road is twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the church.
Because
that
of
is
the
right
church.
on the road.
And so when you look at it, the engineer made a mistake.
No.
They didn't make a mistake. There was a man who feared God, who did not want to be responsible for the throwing down the temple. Do you know he could have paid their church? He could have relocated them. But it's not about the church. It's about the God behind the church.
Okay.
So those are the things I look for in a man. Because there's no perfect man, son.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
No matter what we look for, all of us have flaws. We're 175 years old. We've had 24 presidents. Tell me how many of them. So to want to hold this president responsible for something that have been 173 years, and he handed over less than 4 years, to hold him responsible for those years, I think it's unjust. Is he doing well? Yes. Is he doing all perfect? No. Are there some places for correction? Yes. Are there some mistakes? Yes. But to blame him for the 175-year-old mess at the 3 years of operation is being unfair.
So far, so good. I think we got so much information from you, and the kind of a heart that you display right in our platform. We really appreciate that. But lastly, before I allow you to go, because you are a very busy man, actually.
Thank you. Yeah, I had to run from a meeting to come and see you.
Yeah, I know that. So let me give you this. Talk more about the church council, the Liberal Council of Churches, and the new leader. What are the prospects?
Okay, thank you for that question.
Yeah.
The Liberal Council of Churches is one organization among many organizations in Liberia that is the body of churches. We have 18 different organizations, but at the national level, 4 of them are recognized. The Liberal Council of Churches 1, the Liberal Fellowship of Full Gospel Ministers and Churches 2, the Association of Evangelical AEL 3, and the Pentecostal Fellowship Union of Liberia. Those big 4 are recognized as the umbrella group. But beyond them, there are 18 other groups that are carrying a parade of pastors. Number 2, the Liberal Fellowship of Full Gospel Minister is 5 times bigger than Liberal Council of Churches.
Okay.
The Evangelical Association of Liberia is 5 times bigger than Liberal Council of Churches. The Pentecostal Fellowship Union is 5 times bigger than the Liberal Council of Churches. But the consistent commission, the conglomeration of Liberal Council of Churches makes it appear that it is the voice of the churches. Makes it appear that it carries the demand of the churches. It carries the no. There are not more than 50 members in our place. They just open to membership. I attended the induction of Reverend Dr. Samuel Reeves, which I want to Lord. I think it's a new day. But the Liberal Council of Churches should be the voice, should be the conscience of society, should be that group that navigate the state and the church to a peaceful table. Should be that group that is the conscience of society that will correct and become the correction fluid, but yet become the healing method for the state. So when the state is wrong, the council should be able to let the state know, not necessarily through a rebuke, but through counsel. When the state needs direction, whatever is to guide the state. But don't forget now, is all since we got formed as a nation, all our presidents have come from the church.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
We have had 24 presidents. 7 of them were Methodist, 6 of them were Baptist, 4 of them were Catholic, 3 of them were Presbyterian, 1 Pentecostal, 3 Episcopal, and so we have 24 of them. So none of them have been Muslim, none of them have been atheists, none of them have come from African traditional religion. So by right, the church has produced its leadership. So how can you produce your children and you kill them? How can you be the producer of leadership and you undermine that leadership or criticize that leadership? I think even the president now belongs to a church. So even if he's he's making mistakes, I think the church is under obligation to invite him to the pastor's office. Say down, Mr. President, I'm talking to you now as member of this parish. You can correct him, he will hear you. But the council has presented as though we are opposition, and we are not opposition. I think the last council under Cotto Brown, they were more of an antagonist than a counselor. They were more of divisive than putting people together. And so I'm looking forward to Reverend Reeves. I hope that he will not be too political. I hope that he will come as the spiritual guide of the nation. I hope, because when they do that, we'll form an alternative. If we begin to do the work, form an alternative, because we think that we work. I'm not a member of the council. You understand that? Mm-hmm. But when there are national issue, we work on what they call ecumenical relationship, bringing all of us together. But when we all come together, at the end of the day, they never call me to say thank you. They never make reports. They never report. They will call all of us, they would deal with the issue. They would never come back to say, so we believe that. Then they criticize the government necessarily. I think when the government is wrong, I think when someone is dissatisfied with, found out from the government. So now they make pronouncement before they check and find realities. So I think the council honor this new leadership. My caution to them is, listen to me. Before you speak publicly, be investigative. Before you speak on behalf of the church, make sure you carry all of our acquiescence. Make sure that all the big, there are 18 other organizations that don't go to council meeting, that don't submit to council, and you are speaking for them because you are called Liberal Council of Churches. And under the World Council of Churches, it is believed that every sector of the Council of Churches is the voice of the Christian or Christian community in that nation. In our country, it is assumed, it's a wrong presumption that they speak for us. But because we work ecumenically, we agree with them. But after that, everybody go back to the different platform. You gather the full gospel ministers now, they are 10 times bigger than them. So I'm just saying, I look forward to a more cordial relationship with the new leadership. I also look forward to a more corrective but relative relationship with government and the church. The state and the church are inseparable, even though separately operating. I repeat, the state and the church are inseparable, but yet separated in functions. But the state is responsible for the general well-being of its citizens, and the citizenry include the church. The church is the constitutional society that must guide the spiritual order of the state. You hear that? And so you can't guide the order of spiritual of the state that you do not know. And if you found out most of those who are the state players are affiliation of the religious sector, either Muslim or Christian. So why do we dress our devil and kill it ourselves? So why not call the devil back and say, hey, this is what you need to do, and see if they would not listen to us. So my approach to things is more of a consultative leadership than critical. They want to be. Most pastor team, when you are vocal, then you are pastor. Most pastor team, when you are public in your thought, then you pastor. So we all on the air, and we have 1 hour on the radio criticizing. We got 66 books that we can teach. People are lost. We preach salvation, but we go on the radio, we spend 30 minutes criticizing. When will you preach the word? It's not you that will change. It's the Bible that changes. It's the word of God that is powerful, not you as an individual. So I think this council of churches should not encourage more collaborations, more inclusion under the leadership of Reverend Reeves, more inclusions, and don't see yourself as a boogeyman to the government. You are a partner to the government. I believe it will create a corridor where the president can have confidence in our council. The day we say, Mr. President, don't do this, he will listen. When the president don't have confidence in your council, when the president has tested you with things and you did not deliver, when the president has worked with you before and he suspects a semblance of insecurity or improprieties on your side, he may in the future have reservation. So I think we are under obligation to prove to the president of the secular world that we're there. Nevertheless, we're not going to dance to his tone. We're not going to be, no. There are some things that the president allows it. If the president decides to come to my church or go to the council and say, look, you are doing something, I'm a Christian, I want to be a blessing, you don't reject it. The president wants to be a blessing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The point I'm making is we have to peacefully coexist. Mm-hmm. We have to peacefully, because the man you're talking there is that man who God has blessed in a season to guide and direct us to peacefully coexist. To be his enemy is to be counterproductive. So I just think the new leader, I congratulate Reverend Reeves, and I want you to know that our Reverend Alfonso D will form an alternative movement if you guys continue to operate the way they operated in the past. Cotto Brown was a fine leader, but I think he was operating to please some external forces and not national. And I didn't like his leadership. I said it so many times to him. I commented so many times, but they will not listen.